Hi, I'm Christy Conway with Charleston Home and Design Magazine, and I'm here at this gorgeous Mount Pleasant home with Josh Atkinson of Atkinson Pools and the Descheck family. Thank you so much for having me.
Our pleasure.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about this project. How did you find Atkinson Pools and Josh Atkinson?
Well, we did our research with some of the competition, and I think what it really differentiated us is the flexibility in design. We wanted to make this an outdoor living space, and Josh's team really was flexible in some of our options.
Yeah, definitely. So when they approached you, did they have certain design, or did you have some suggestions for them? How did that work?
Well, we went through several concepts, but we kind of found ourselves at the end moving the pool further away based upon this new outdoor space. So we went through several of them, and we kind of settled on a shape, and then we kind of designed around the shape, and then the aesthetics, and then the pieces and parts of what they wanted to actually do with the fire pit and the pool and the spa.
Is that normally how that works, or do they normally come to you with a design in place?
Not everyone comes with the design in place, and oftentimes they do come with the design and they end up changing it. I think I like to talk in terms of what types of architecture do they like, even what types of art people like, and I think we talked about what types of shapes you guys liked and how we wanted it to flow, because I think incorporating it sounds kind of goofy for pools, but incorporating rhythm and balance and flow into a space is really, really important. And I think you have to try to pull that out of people, and I think we achieved that.
Okay, speaking of shape, I'll tell you the one thing I know about pools is I think that's a kidney shape. Is that right?
Well,
I'm wrong though, huh?
No, okay. It's more of a classic like freeform shape. Okay. Yeah, I mean I drew it by hand and started there, and then got their thoughts, and we pushed and pulled and.
You were inspired by the kidney, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, actually, you mentioned the space above us and architecture.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did you design this, or how did this structure come to be? I guess what would this be called? An overhang of some kind. Was that what you call it? Okay.
Outdoor living area.
I think we started with an outdoor living space concept, and we wanted to make it fit with the existing home architecture. So. Kind of reached my limits on structural for a house, and then we talked to one architect, and then you guys talked to a few, and then they finally settled on an architect that gave them a full structural design and elements of what they were looking for.
And who is that architect?
It was Lossy Knight with LFK Architects.
Okay. So did they work together, or were you the go-between with the architect?
Well, we worked with the architect directly, but they had the feel for what we were trying to do with the pool space, and then it was bringing the construction company in to work with the architect. So there's three groups in there, and I think Josh said it well when it was really an outdoor living space. We had an idea conceptually, but we kind of worked with us in figuring out exactly how we can make that idea, and we made some changes along the way. So the flexibility is really key.
Now, I heard you actually wanted a square pool to begin with. Is that right?
Yes, I was vetoed by my lovely wife on the square pool, and it ended up working out. And Josh actually got us too, because it just didn't fit in as well as kind of the architectural space out here. So the kidney won out on the square. That's right.
Yeah, this seemed to fit perfectly because it's so rounded. It feels like it fits well. It's not too obtrusive. Now. What kind of decking did you choose for this? Because the same is true for the decking. I find that it's not too harsh, or I guess in your face.
We went with a silver travertine, which is kind of unique, and we didn't originally pick silver, but the way it goes with the slate and the tile part of our pool, we thought it fit the best, and it's such a large portion of our backyard. We really wanted it to look, natural and kind of have some uniqueness to it. So the kids can sort of run on it. It stays cool, and it's a really great decking for a pool in this climate. So yeah.
So do you offer the travertine to be touched and viewed in your showroom?
Yeah, we have several different samples. We've probably got like 8 different colors and probably 4 different cuts, meaning patterns or sizing. And they vary from very dark to very light and silver, and then what they call like a Picasso or a Philadelphia, which is like a creamy, very veiny blend, which is really nice.
And that's not silver then?
No, that's not silver, but this is silver, and those two really have the most amount of veining in them. So.
And you said that this was oh gosh, I forget now. Before we even started, you mentioned that this was a certain
Yeah, it's a fringe pattern.
fringe pattern. Okay, all right. And do you cut the tile, or do you have someone cut the tile for you? Okay.
No, I get it. I get it from a supplier that cuts it and planes it himself.
Okay.
So everything is custom made for each one of my jobs, which is nice and something that we try to do. So it's not stock, and it's all hand cut and hand picked. So it's a very high quality piece of stone.
But the pool itself, your company does build. Atkinson
Yes,
Pools
yes.
does. Okay.
We installed the decking, and we do. We probably 80% of the job is done in house. So everything we do is controlled, and I know the quality that's going to come out. So
Now, I noticed a few different features. Obviously, there's the hot tub, there's the fire pit, and the fountain. Is that common nowadays to have all those features involved in a pool?
Yeah, fire is really it's part of the outdoor living space. I mean, most people like a fire of some sort, and so yeah, it's become more common. Within, I think it's always been common, but we've seen an increase in the amount of fire features that we're doing on our projects lately.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I have looked through a lot of your work, and I do see a lot of fire and water. Is that the influence from you or someone else in your company?
Yeah, I personally do all of the design, but no, I mean it's there's a lot of national influence. I have people that I look up to, and I wish I could say that I was the inventor of everything, but I'm not. So it's
You didn't invent fire,
right? No, I mean, just the kind of the concepts, but it does kind of we play off of a lot of things, and I mean it was more about positioning it for the aesthetic here than about the actual element, I guess you could say. It was about taking the elements and putting them in into a spatial relationship where they accentuated each other. So
okay. So what is the finish on the bottom of the pool, and how did you choose that?
Well, I don't know what it's actually called, but there were three colors that we could have gone for. There was black, which we were initially
Like a
intrigued
lagoon
with,
look.
like a lagoon look, and then there's the traditional pool, which is a lot lighter. But then Josh actually introduced it's more of a silvery, and he'll tell you what the actual color is, but it's kind of in between. And because we felt the lagoon just looked almost like a mud pit, and we felt the light was just too bright, and this was a nice in between, so it kind of gave it a little bit more of a warm feel, and it fell in real well with the travertine too.
And it blends with the pond in the back, too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is it officially called then?
well, it's called an exposed quartz aggregate.
Okay.
The official color is called French silver.
Okay.
But what they were saying is that we wanted to lighten it a little bit because they wanted it to be a little bit brighter, but we also wanted it to be a little bit of a medium gray so that it reflected some of the elements around it, the trees in the pond and things like that. So it wasn't stark.
But sometimes people use tile on their pools. Is that still a common thing?
Well, we do the waterline tile, but to tile an entire pool is fairly expensive. So yeah,
Well, you could if you wanted to.
if you wanted to.
Because you do all custom pools,
Yes.
right? Okay. All right. So how did you get into custom? I mean, I know it's a family business. How did your family get into creating custom pools?
Yeah, we've been in business for 30 years. I'm actually a third generation builder, if you will, and yeah, I was born to do it. No, but basically, that's what my father and my grandfather were doing for as long as I can remember. Hurricane Hugo played a big part of it because there was a lot of work to be done. So that's kind of where it started. I don't really know where it was born, but I know that's where we're at now. So
Okay. So how big is your company now?
well, we do everything from the very beginning of the pool, meaning from cradle to grave, if you will. So if you have a pool, we can take care of you. We do service and maintenance, clean pools from here to Kiowa, and custom construction. We have retail stores, and full warranty service station. So.
Well, that's cool. Now, is there anything else you want to mention about this pool or about your working relationships with this family? They seem obviously really happy that you're here, so it went well, I guess. But anything else you want to say?
Yeah, to me, working with a client, it's about personal relationship. You want to have a relationship because you want them to trust you, and you want to be able to trust them so you can have candid conversations, so that you can, set expectations. And I think that we developed that very early on, and I think and hope that they were pleased. And I very much enjoyed working with them. It was a pleasure, and I still like coming out here even after we're completed to see them and talk to them. So
You're gonna hang out after we're done here?
we'll see.
Okay, well, now if someone would want a pool like this, or a square pool, if they wanted that, what's your website to learn more information?
We're at www.atkinsonpools.com, and that's the best way to find us. And
what about calling you? Do you have a phone number?
yes, we do. It's 881-3068.
Now, before we did this interview, you were telling me all about how you're very active on House, and I am a big proponent of House. So they actually have a lot of great pools on display on House, so that you can see all the range of talent that he has. So definitely check out their site on House. Now, is it just Atkinson Pools and Spas?
Actually, it's listed as Josh
Okay.
Atkinson Pools and Spas.
Okay, so definitely check that out, because he's also writing columns for that. So he's got a lot to say. Anyway, well, thank you so much for meeting with me and letting me into your beautiful home. And one thing, did you guys like the pool? I have to ask. They didn't want to speak, but I had to ask them this question. So you like the pool?
I like the hot tub the best. I like coming over here and just hanging out with my friends in the hot tub.
Yeah, the hot tub. Yeah, the fire's good too, and the hot tub. That's the one that keeps me coming in and out from the pool.
I like how it's an outdoor, like it's like our second living room. We have a TV and
Yeah, we use our backyard a lot more now. I mean, even sitting here eating dinners and entertaining, and family and friends coming into town, and the kids do their homework out here. We've got a little nook over here. Bill takes a nap in the corner over there.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. It's
A little warmer, I'm sure.
That's right.
we use the backyard a lot more. Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much. You have a beautiful home.
Thank you.
Thank you.